Hey there and welcome to another Stranger Things tutorial. Today we're going to be using Emerge Pro to make a really cool poster. But don't forget, we've got our Stranger sale on right now, so you can get 25% off store-wide on any of our products. So do go and check that out. So before we even get started, this is actually the next version of Emerge Pro, version 4.0, which is coming out later in July. As you can see, the team here have created this really cool poster, and I'm just going to go through some of the ways that we do it and what new effects have been used here. So first of all, we have the image of the road. It's got lots of contrast, it's very interesting already, and we'll use this as the basis for the style as we move forward. Next, we have the sky. So we have this very dramatic, very Stranger Things sky, and this is made up of a bunch of different elements. So let's just dive into that. So first of all, we have these clouds. They obviously didn't look like this. If I disable all the effects, we've got some very basic, very normal clouds. And then through us applying some curves, and then also some exposure, and then some more curves, we've actually created this very red, very contrasty, dramatic sky. We've also, of course, applied a sort of soft area mask, but we're still seeing those mountains coming through behind, but we're going to cover those up as we go. So the most problematic area here is the transition between the ground element and the sky element. So we start covering that up a little bit with this sunset. Now, again, we've applied curves just to pull it into line with the rest of the sky. And then we have a simple area mask that's helping us with the transition between the two. But what we actually want is a tree line here. So we then have another image that we've comped in, and this has got a vector mask and an area mask, a little bit more complex than the last ones, and then some curves again to bring it in line with the other images. Then things start getting a bit crazy, and we add some lightning. So these are all screen blended layers, and if I just stack them on, they're very subtle. And the important thing here is to sort of layer things up subtly rather than all in one go, so that you can actually tweak the effect. Normally, if you work on something and you keep on working on it, you want to draw it back about sort of 25% as you get towards the end, because you probably end up going too far. And I think that's what the guys have done here. But what they have used is our super cool new glow effect. So if you actually look up in the sky here where elements are glowing out and getting overexposed like we want from the lightning, this is using an all new effect in Emerge 4.0. So do check that out. It's got chromatic aberrations, it's got hotspots, it's got all sorts of stuff going on. But this is a very cool glow effect, the best glow effect that we've got. The next thing, of course, is the foreground element. So we've got some little shadow spots here just to give some sort of ambient occlusion shadow underneath where they're standing. And then we've got our green screen elements. We, of course, all know how well Emerge Pro deals with green screen, but there's something very interesting here, and that's these shadows that are falling off. And this is a requested effect that we've added to the software. So if we jump into this folder, and I'm going to switch off this little faked shadow directly below them, we can actually click on these individual layers and see that they're layer groups. Inside those groups, we actually have the green screen element, and then we're basically pre-composing them into a folder, and on that folder, we're adding this long shadow effect. So if we look at Ollie's feet here, I can then move this shadow around and place it where I want it to be, like I'm moving the sun around in the scene. We have this baseline at his feet, but then we also have this sort of horizon line, and this also dictates how the shadow will be formed. So where the sun is relative to Ollie, and then of course the dial over here allows you to reposition the light around him. So I'll just switch on the shadow below them again and move to the next layer. So next up is the blue grade, and we've got two significant areas of blue grade here. One of them is the road, which we're kind of going more for a bleach bypass kind of look, and the other is the sky, where we were directly trying to copy the Stranger Things poster where there's kind of a blue element in the top right of the poster. If we look at the road, it's just an area mask over that bottom portion of the image, and then we're using the curves to sort of boost the blue. If we look at the sky, there's the same thing. There's an area mask defining the circle up top, and then another area mask basically cutting that or removing that area away. And we're using our new hue colorize effect. So that's taking the colors and recoloring them to a different hue that you define. And then you can set the strength and the lightness and all sorts of things on that. So that's a really great new tool as well. Next, we have all the signs in the background. These are all just different images where we've cut them out to use them as different elements. And if I just zoom in a bit here, what we can see is in this folder, we have the different images here. They've been cut out to create these signs. And then again, we're using the long shadows effect over the top. And that's how we're getting these shadows down here and a little bit down here as well. Just adding that sense of realism and giving the same shadows that the guys have in the foreground. Then we've got a grade. This is basically just a red overlay and then a gradient as well. And we're just trying to get that same kind of red and orange look going through to the pinks and the blues that they had in the Stranger Things posters. And then just to beef up the horizon line, we've added a glow effect just in the middle here, and it just brightens up and draws the eye towards the center of the image. So it's really, really simple to put together what is quite a complex composite. As I say, we've just been showing off some of the new effects as well that are coming to Emerge 4. We have the long shadows, we have the hue colorize, and we have the glow effects. Do check those out. There's a bunch of new features coming too, and that'll all be later on in July. For another Stranger Things tutorial, do click the link in the card over here somewhere. And do remember, we're running our Stranger sale at the moment, which is 25% off store-wide on any of our stuff. Check for the link in the description.